so far, but basically in the past month, my life was turned upside down. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So it has been an entire month since I have made a video, really posted a video. I made one video in Kansas City that will either be up before this one or right after. So I posted on Instagram and a lot of people said that they wanted to hear a life update, so I thought I would get ready with you and kind of talk about why I took a little bit of a break. It was only meant to be like a couple weeks, but or not even a couple. It meant to be like a few days, and then it turned into a week, and then it turned into 2, and then 3, and then here we are. So I'm sorry about the lighting in here. It's a very bright day, which is wonderful, but it just kind of throws things off. So I literally just rolled out of bed. This is my Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched face base. I'm going to take a lot. My skin is so dry right now, and it has breakouts all here. So okay, so let's just start. So hair stuff I'm going to deal with after. For now I'm just going to focus on my makeup. So I just rolled out of bed. It is Sunday, and so I'm getting ready to go to church. So I thought this would be a good time to make this video. Okay, so 4 weeks ago it was in Canada, Family Day, which I had posted the video bowling with my family. We had a great time, and then after that I kind of was not feeling well. So full disclosure, right now I'm in my last 3 weeks of school. So I would have been in my last like 6-7 week. I just put it on this Instant Sheer Envy Eye Fix Depuffer. So I would have been, yeah, basically 6 to 7 weeks out, and which was fine, but I just started to feel like really overwhelmed, and you know, school is coming to an end, and what am I going to do with my life? Like, I have an internship that I have to do, but then what happens after that? And that was very overwhelming. I'm actually going to go in with my Born This Way Too Faced and conceal now. I just find it works better on covering up some of my problem areas to do it before foundation than after. And at that point, there was a lot of people in my family that were getting sick. And specifically, when we went bowling, I think my mom wasn't feeling well. And so I ended up, like, I think catching a little bit of what she had. And that week, we were going to Kansas City. So side note again, if you do not like a lot of talking videos, then you will not like this video because it's all talking. Okay, but I promise you, like, I know I'm a little bit all over the place, but my life basically was turned upside down. So I'm feeling very overwhelmed, which is not like me to feel overwhelmed and to this level. Like, I'm pretty like good at, I feel like, with dealing with my like emotions and stresses, but apparently I wasn't, and so I was just feeling very upset. And so I decided to, like, okay, I wouldn't stress about that week of YouTube, and I was going to Kansas City, and we were going to visit family, and oh shoot, it's like falling apart and just like went all over my house coat. So anyways, I go through that week, and you know, I'm just trying to like get stuff done, and I'm also not feeling well. So I think I caught what my mom had. So at one point I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it to Kansas City. And anyways, we get there. Well, almost. When we were on our flight, the guy behind Andrew had a seizure in the air. That was actually really scary because I didn't exactly know what was happening at first. Turns out he was okay and we didn't have to do any like emergency landing, but it was still very scary when it was happening because I didn't know what was happening. And he was kind of fighting people. So anyways, I just was like the whole time like, oh, this is a bad idea that we go. Like, why is all this stuff happening? And anyways, we get there. I'm feeling better. Not really. Still feeling like stressed, and I'm just trying to like enjoy my vacation because it's like the only vacation I'm gonna get pretty much, because like I have to intern and then find a job. And we're like 3 days into the trip and Andrew gets a call from his company and they laid off 10% of the company, and that included him. And I had this like emotional breakdown. Like I just started like literally like weeping because it was so out of the blue. And I've never really talked about this, but Andrew works in tech, okay, in Toronto, and tech is a big thing. And his company had incredible benefits. He had unlimited vacation, work from home whenever he wanted to, catered lunch once a week, a great learning and development budget. Like they were doing all these fun things all the time, and we had no idea that things were not going well. And this is the nature of any like startup company in general. Like the company is totally fine, but sometimes, you know, you hit a rough patch and people have to go. And unfortunately, he was one of the people that had to go, along with a lot of other people. So that was a huge shock to us. We literally were so blindsided, had no idea that this was coming. So that day in Kansas City was like the worst and weirdest day. Spent the whole day with my sister-in-law, just basically trying to feed off of her like emotional strength because I had like nothing inside of me. It was so weird. There was so much fear actually. And I called my parents both separately, and they were saying the same thing about, you know, just trusting the Lord that there would be something better. And in my mind at that point, I was like, there's nothing better than what he had. Like, we're not gonna find it. And I was so negative. And even my sister was like, I have peace about this. Like, I feel really good. And I just couldn't get out of that headspace. I was just so, I think because I had been going through so much, and then I just felt like we were being kicked when we were down, and I was really upset. Anyways, so dealing with that. So after a few days, I did feel peace. I was like, yeah, you know what? This is probably, okay, Lord, like this is such weird timing that we're on a vacation of all things, and this is what happens. So anyways, I was really dreading coming home the whole time because I felt like when we got home, we would feel very, what's the word? Just like it would really sink in, like Kansas City's a little bit of an escape, but coming home would be like, you know, reality of our situation. And I don't work right now because I'm about to enter into a season of interning as well. I can't really have a job. So I just felt like we're so close to the finish line and this might really mess things up. So I was scared to go home and like face the reality of what our situation was. But in reality, coming home actually felt really good. But another crazy story. This is gonna be just a series of crazy things that have happened to me in the last month. So when I was in Kansas City, my sister-in-law, okay, so every time we go to San Francisco, Andrew's aunt for breakfast makes us homemade fresh wontons. And literally, I look forward to them for years because we've gone to San Francisco twice in like 6 years. And I think about those wontons, like I've never had better ones at any restaurant. Like his aunts are the best. And so when I was in Kansas City, Andrew's sister was like, oh, I'll teach you how to make them. And so I was so excited. We made them and it was like, oh, a piece of San Francisco. I was so happy. So happy. So we get back from Kansas City. I'm feeling good and we get back on a Saturday. And so I thought the next day, you know, I'll go out and I'll go to the Chinese market and I'll buy everything and I'll make us wontons and then we can put them in the freezer and I'll make them for my whole family. I was like, this is a great idea. I'm totally like trying to, a part of me is like distracting myself from like issues too. So like I could have been filming, I could have been doing other things, but I was like, I have to make these wontons. So anyways, I go in the morning and I decided to go to this new Asian market on the other side of town. I had never been there before, but just that day decided to go there. So loved it and went there. On my way home I realized, oh, I forgot something. So there was a grocery store coming home. So I just pulled in, and as I pulled in, okay, this is where it kind of gets a little bit hairy where I have to explain it to you. There was a car, it was a black Audi, and it pulled through a parking space. So I saw the opening and I pulled in behind it, put my car in park, turned the engine off, and I was grabbing my stuff. I was looking down and I just felt like somebody hit me. And the car in front, the black Audi, totally backed into me. Well, you know, then I get out and I'm talking and this lady is like, you hit me. And I was like, there's no way that I hit you. My car was in park and I was about to get out. And she was like, well, yeah. And then she admitted that she did not look behind her and she was reversing. So she admitted it. But then she decided to call her son. At this point we look, the scratch on her car is that much because she drove into my license plate, nothing else. So anyways, sorry, I haven't been talking about what I'm doing. I use the Charlotte Tilbury Bronzer Sculpt and Glow, and then I use some of this, and then I'm taking Rocketeer on this Bobbi Brown brush. So then she calls her son to like come, and her son is so mean and such a bully. He ends up like saying it's your word against ours. Insurance companies, because she has damage on her bumper, they're just automatically going to assume that you hit her, which I was like, I didn't. Like, she backed into me. We had no witnesses. So he was getting really like intense. We tried to call the police and the police basically was like, well, it's private property, it's under $2,000, we're not coming out. So then my dad was gonna come, and then he like called the police because he was like, she's gonna bring her dad. He was like thinking like we were gonna fight him. So then finally, when it was all said and done, I sat in my car and had a good cry because I didn't feel defeated enough. And it was really hard to explain the situation. Poor Andrew was freaking out because I had just texted him like somebody hit me. He had no context to what was going on. Came home and basically told him, and I showed, thankfully I took so many photos, so you could really see that I was like parked along the lines of the other cars and she had backed into me. But they said that they would go through insurance, so we decided to go to the police station to just file a report to make sure that, you know, we just did our, excuse me, our due diligence. Not that we were filing against them or anything, just in case they did claim that I drove into them, we at least have record that we went and reported it, that didn't happen. Then, so that day was just like a really bad day, like a really bad day. I just cried and cried and cried. Like I just couldn't handle my emotions. It was so bad. I'm gonna take this MAC palette and I'm just gonna go in with this color here. I don't know what it's called. I'm just gonna take it all over the lid. So anyways, I was not, and the whole time I was not feeling that great. Like I was feeling weird. and I kept telling Andrew I was feeling weird. Like my chest felt weird, my throat felt weird, but I just thought I was tired and stressed. Anyways, we deal with that whole situation. It's fine. The next day I woke up with the worst, like, sore chest, and I think I didn't go to the doctor that day, so I ended up staying home, resting, and eventually just losing my voice. And I had like a really bad fever, and so fast forward the next day, went to the doctor, and he's like, you have the influenza. Everyone makes fun of me for saying that, but that's what he said. And which I know influenza is just the flu. Okay, I know that. I just like saying the influenza because it sounds a lot more serious. But basically he's like, you have the flu, you need to stay home. So I had to take a week off from school, which I was at that point I was like, I only had 5 weeks left. So I was pretty stressed out. And my friend said something to me last night. She's like, even though everyone's stressed, it's better to go to school and be stressed together than be at home alone and stressing. And it is so true, because just missing that much school and being at home, it just added to the stress of being worried, like, what if I fail and what if I don't graduate and then I have to wait another year, which I wouldn't. But it's the fear of like, oh my goodness, I'm going to miss so much that I'm going to fail. So I just took bronzer and I'm just creating some depth. I'm just doing like really easy. This lighting is really hard to see what I'm doing, but hopefully it's coming through. So I think I just got sick from the, like, honestly, the emotional drainage of the past few weeks. And so it took me like a good solid like week and a bit to get better. Like my voice still goes in and out a lot. It's not strong, as you can hear. And I still have a bit of a cough. So I'm just gonna put some of this CoverGirl chapstick on. My lips are dry, just to moisturize. I'm gonna go do a little wing liner with the It Cosmetics Superhero Liner. I will put on some lashes today. So that's kind of where I have been and why I have not posted. I just haven't had the emotional, I'm using L'Oreal Telescopic, the emotional capacity right now, which, well, I didn't. I'm starting to get back into obviously feeling better and doing stuff, but school is a little bit crazy because currently Friday marked 3 weeks left, which is a little bit crazy because I feel a little bit lost, just a tad bit of like, okay, after, you know, school is done, after my internship is done, what am I going to do? Where am I going to land? Full disclosure, that's really scary for me. But, oh, a big part of my news is that Andrew did get a job. He actually was only out of work. He has not missed a paycheck. We joke about that. He was hired by a even bigger company it was like, honestly, it was so the Lord. It's an incredible job, like better than we had expected. Same unlimited vacation, same work from home, like, but it's actually, I think, probably going to be a better fit, which we loved his company before, so there's nothing bad I could say about them. It was a wonderful place to work. We loved it. Just, you know, things happen. But I think that Andrew losing his job was the mercy of the Lord, and he had something better. I just couldn't see it. And so he, yeah, starts his new job, not this coming week, but the week after, which is amazing. It's way better than we could have ever expected. Finding a job is not easy. This was not easy, but I know it takes a long time, and we're really blessed that it was such a quick find for him. So yeah, so he has a job, and I'm about to finish school, and I'm feeling better. So the sun is now coming out, like the weather is better, and I feel like that really, Andrew thinks I've had maybe a little bit of the winter blues, which I am not going to disagree. I think that has played into it. There's just a lot of transition that's about to happen in my life, and I always thought I did well, relatively well with change. I know I don't do stellar, but I think it's because there's just like, I don't know. It's not that I don't know what's gonna happen necessarily, it's I don't know what should happen. Like, I just don't know what I should do in the direction that I should be going. I feel a little bit lost. If you don't know, I am finishing my degree in journalism, and I focused on television majority of my time there, which I love television, but I don't necessarily know if that's where I will land. It's a very hard industry to get into, so that's that. And if I don't end up there, I don't necessarily know where or what I should be doing. I'm also really interested in social media content creation, which I, as you know from YouTube, but I mean doing something like that for a company. I already make videos. You can check it out at, if you go on Instagram and look at Event Source, I make wedding commentary videos for this company. On some of their beautiful blog posts, like honestly stunning weddings, and I do like wedding commentary and stuff like that for them already on their channel, which I love to do. But as for like what else happens, I don't really know. I'm going to pop on some lashes, fix my hair, and I will be right back. Okay, so here is my final look. I just threw on some big hoop earrings, this sweater, curled my hair, and I am ready for the day. We're gonna head out, we're gonna go to church, and then Andrew and I are going to actually spend the day celebrating his new job. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much if you are listening. If you're all the way here in this video, thank you for listening to all my crazy stories from this past month. And I will be back to posting regularly. Again, thank you for all your love and support. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you again for another video.